Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu issue number 3 from Marvel Comics. So I haven't covered the first 2 issues, so I'll just do a super quick recap. Moon Knight, Mark Spector, is back from the dead. He had apparently sacrificed himself to save New York, and now he's back. And he has the Midnight Mission with him, which is his own little group. And it's him, Hunter's Moon, Tigra, Reese, Soldier, and 8-Ball. And in the first issue, we see him like beating up his way into this club where he talks to the owner, and the owner is this guy named Achilles Fairchild, who used to be a boxer. And apparently, Fairchild is a drug dealer who's selling this new drug called glitter. And glitter may or may not actually be fairy dust, like literal fairy dust. People who take it get instantly addicted to it and want more. It's kind of ruining the city. And there's this cop who's investigating Moon Knight, and basically it turns out she's a dirty cop who is hooked on glitter, and she is working with Fairchild because Fairchild's the only one that can give her her stash. And yeah, that's basically like the gist of it. Oh, and apparently Ant-Man is alive. I guess Hank Pym was dead, and now he's alive. I'll be honest with you, I don't know anything that's going on with the lore of the Marvel Universe outside of Ghost Rider. That's like the only Marvel thing that I read. I mean, I read Ultimate Spider-Man, but that's set in its own little universe. It's not part of the 616. But the first 2 issues are pretty decent. Issue number 3 starts off with this girl who is, her name is Carver. She was a soldier, and she has this powerful magical sword, and she works for Fairchild. And she's standing outside of Moon Knight's base. And apparently, Fairchild is like upset that Moon Knight confronted him in issue number 1, so now he's like, you came here into my business, so now I'm going to go after your business. And that's what they're doing here. So Carver uses the powers of the sword that she picked up in Vanaheim, and she unleashes this power. Meanwhile, Moon Knight and Tigra are chatting inside. Moon Knight has just explained to Tigra that Hank is alive. I guess Moon Knight and Tigra were like a thing, and Hank used to be Tigra's lover, and it's like the father of her child, and she assumed that Hank was dead, and now she's a little bit upset that Moon Knight didn't tell her about it. But the thing is like he told her about it right when they were about to do this big mission, and so he didn't want to like tell her right before the mission because he didn't want anything to like be on her mind. Like he wanted her dedicated to the mission first, and then after the mission, like he died, so he couldn't have told her then, and now he's telling her. And that's when they realize that there's something's going on with the house. And basically, Mission is dead. And apparently, Mission is like a ghost that haunts Moon Knight's base and has like its own personality. I'll be completely honest, I don't know much about Moon Knight. Outside of the TV series that I watched, I've only read a couple of his stuff. And even then, it was only stuff that he appeared in. It wasn't like stuff dedicated solely to him. Like it wasn't a Moon Knight series. It would be stuff like Werewolf by Night. I think maybe it was like a Spider-Man that he appeared in as well. So yeah, my knowledge of Moon Knight, I don't have much of. All I know is that his name is like Mark Spector, and he used to have 3 different personalities that he would use. They were basically like 3 different disguises, and then that apparently got retconned into being 3 multiple personalities that he has. Like he has some kind of multiple personality disorder, and apparently he stopped the bomb that was going to destroy New York. That's all I really know. Yeah, apparently, though, Mission is a ghost that haunts his place. Anyways, Mission is dead. Mission is dead. The dirty cop shows up with more cops, and they're going to arrest Moon Knight. Moon Knight's kind of like confused. What the hell are they going to arrest him for? He hasn't done anything illegal. Being a superhero is no longer illegal in Marvel Universe, apparently, according to, I think, issue number 1 of this series. And Moon Knight's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to let you arrest me. Like, screw you. And so he's pissed because he's like, you killed my friend. You killed my home. You killed my friends. I'm not letting you out of here. And so Soldier comes in and starts whooping butt. And then Tigra starts fighting. Moon Knight just beats the crap out of these cops and goes straight for the leader. And he is getting ready to kill her. He's basically like, they started it. Detective Frazier, you're a junkie, murdering, dirty cop. Why shouldn't I kill you? Especially since you killed Mission and you're working for Fairchild. Then Hunter's Moon like shows up, says, hey, like, should leave. And Moon Knight lets her go. Part of me is like, that's a bad idea because she's just going to go after you again. Then again, killing a cop is just going to paint a bigger target on your back. Yeah, it's just one of those things where, I don't know. When it comes to series, I've always been one of those people that's like annoyed when heroes let the villains go free. When it's like the villains like coming, like either they're coming to like, well, I guess in this case arrest him, but usually like you'll have the villain come. It's like, oh, he tried to kill you, he tried to kill your family, and it's like the hero beats them down, and then right before he's gonna kill them, someone else says, "Don't do it. You'll be just as bad as them." I'm like, no, you won't. You wouldn't be as bad as them for taking them out. You'd be doing the world a service by getting rid of a murderer. It's not murder if you kill someone who's trying to kill you. It's called self-defense. I don't know. Like, I've bragged about this in other videos before because I see this a lot in superhero stuff, and I get why they do it, but it's always just annoyed the hell out of me. It's why I've always liked the Punisher, because Punisher just kills his enemies, and is like, good. That's what you should do. Just get rid of them, take them off the planet. Like, how better would Gotham be if Batman killed? Like, I get why he doesn't. I get his whole philosophy, and I'm not saying Batman should kill, because I understand why they don't have him do it. I just don't care for Batman because of that. That's why I prefer Jason Todd. I like the Red Hood more, just because he's kind of like DC's Punisher. And I don't know, I like heroes that just take out the villains for good. It reminds me very much of like the old school pulp heroes, like the Shadow and stuff, which were like my favorites. I'm kind of just rambling on that. So yeah, he decides, okay, well, we're not going to kill the cop then. Instead, we're going to escape. Basically, they beat up the cops some more, start knocking them out. And then once they're all knocked out, Moon Knight's like, all right, we got to go. Mission patterned himself off my first midnight mission, and then he improvised. And now that he's dead, this base has reverted to like its first form, and mission let us escape. He's protecting us one last time. And so they start escaping through the sewers, and cops chase after them, and they go on the run. And eventually they find this base deep beneath New York City. It apparently is a decommed shield station, and according to this editor's notes, appeared in Moon Knight, the 2014 series. And I guess there was like some crazy person that was living down here, and what he would do is he would kill people and then bring the victims down here, and then he would cut them up and use their parts to make himself stronger. That sounds really, really cool. If anyone read that run, let me know if that run's actually any good, because that sounds like a pretty cool idea. Like, I like that idea for a villain, like killing people and then cutting them up and then using their parts to like attach to themselves, I'm guessing, and basically like Frankensteining themselves to make them stronger. Like, that sounds pretty cool. I also like the fact that one of Moon Knight's sidekicks is like, hey, so like, what did you do to that crazy person? Did you just come down here and drag him out? And Moon Knight's like, nope. And he just points, and there's a dead body with one of Moon Knight's weapons stabbed through it. So Tigra brings up a good point. She's like, all right, the cops are after us, but why? Like, what the hell are they going after us for? What do they have on us that is painting us as villains? And apparently, there's a news report, and it turns out that the cops are framing Moon Knight and his group, the Midnight Mission, as a evil cult, and that they're the ones responsible for creating the glitter drug and broadcasting it out. So not only was it called glitter, but now they're changing the name to Moon Dust so that it has more of an association with Moon Knight. So yeah, basically they're framing Moon Knight and his group as being the ones that are dealing out these drugs, rather than actually being the ones that are trying to stop it. And that's the issue. And I will say this, I think this run has been really good so far. Like, I've read the first 3 issues, I really enjoyed them, which is why I'm doing a video on issue number 3 that came out this week. I like the artwork. Artwork's pretty decent. I like the story. I find this group interesting, especially, like, I'll be honest, as I mentioned before, I'm a total noob when it comes to Moon Knight. I don't know much about him. And I think the series does a pretty decent job of, like, holding your hands while it explains stuff. Like, I have no idea that Moon Knight died for saving, like, he sacrificed himself to stop a bomb that was going to blow up New York. I had no knowledge of that. But this series does a decent job of, like, letting you know, like, here's what's happened in previous history of Moon Knight. So I'm not totally lost. I don't know why some of these characters are working together, though. But whatever, like, heroes have done team-ups before, so I'll just assume that they've worked with Moon Knight in the past, and that's why they're part of his mission. I guess what I'm trying to say is that for someone who doesn't know jack about Moon Knight, I'm not completely lost reading this. Like, I can follow the story, and while some things might not make too much sense. Like, I guess him and Tigra were in a relationship. I guess Tigra was in a relationship with Ant-Man and has a kid with him. Like, that's stuff that I don't know. I just found out reading this. It's not like, you're going to miss it. Like, it straight up tells you all this information, so you're not going to be completely lost, is what I'm trying to get at in my rambling way. So yeah, I think this is good. I liked it. This might be another Marvel series that I'll keep up with. I enjoyed the first 3 issues so far. I think they're really good. I do recommend checking them out, especially if you're a fan of Moon Knight. And if you're not a fan of Moon Knight, or if you're someone like me who's never really read Moon Knight, I think you can read this and enjoy it just fine. And with that said, if there's anyone that's watching this video up to this point, and you are a huge fan of Moon Knight, are there any series, like any Moon Knight volumes or arcs or anything that you would recommend? Because I would like to check out more of Moon Knight. I think he's an interesting character. As I said before, I don't know much about him, but what little I've seen of him fascinates me. So I would like to be able to read more of his journeys and stuff. So are there any like really good stories that you would recommend someone who's never read Moon Knight? Like if you were to sell me on Moon Knight, what would be a series that you would recommend? And is it something that I can just pick up without any prior knowledge? Like if you give me something that's like, you have to read these other 20 issues first before you can read this arc, I might not do that just because of time limit. But if there's something that I can just immediately jump into and not be completely lost, please feel free to drop recommendations because I would like to read more about them. But yeah, there you go. There's Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, issue number 3 from Marvel Comics. Really, really good. I enjoyed this a lot. I'd give this series so far, I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I still want to thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next one is more to your liking. With that said, thank you once again, and I hope you guys and gals have a good one. Later.